Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got a really fascinating one today because we're going to tackle a paradox that, honestly, I think most of us have felt. It's that weird situation where you're trying so hard to fix yourself. You know, you've got the meditation app, you're doing the breathing exercises, but somehow your actual life feels more chaotic than ever.
It's a huge irony in the modern wellness world. We see this profile all the time. People who know all the right terms, like grounding or shadow work, but they're just suffering from this deep, low-grade exhaustion.
Yeah, and the frustration is just, it's huge. You feel like, I'm doing the work, why do I still feel so burnt out?
Well, there is actually a clinical term for this. It's called spiritual bypassing.
Spiritual bypass.
Essentially, it's when you use spiritual ideas or practices to avoid your real emotional issues. It's like putting a good vibes only sticker over your car's check engine light.
So instead of dealing with the fact that you're terrible with money, you just say, oh, money is just energy, man.
Or you blame bad karma because you forgot to pay a bill. It's a defense mechanism. But the problem, of course, is the engine light is still on. The issue doesn't just go away.
It festers. And that must take up a lot of energy.
It does. And that brings us to the destination for today's deep dive. We're not looking at modern psychology for this one. We're going way back, about 3,000 years.
We are going to ancient Egypt. And I have to say, going through the research on their soul map, it's just wild how relevant it is to this exact problem.
It really is. We think of Egypt and we think mummies, pyramids, curses.
Right.
But they were maybe the first civilization to really map out the human psyche as a kind of system. And their solution to what we call burnout wasn't about adding more rituals, it was about physics.
The physics of the heart.
Exactly, the actual weight of the heart.
That phrase just stuck with me. So today's mission is to unpack this Egyptian soul map. We're going to look at three key concepts, the Ka, the Ib, and a Tha, to figure out why we're all so tired and, maybe, how to fix the leak.
If you can get how those three things interact, you basically have a user manual for your own energy.
Okay, let's start with the engine itself, the Ka. I think in movies it's usually this ghostly spirit thing, but the source material describes it much more like a battery.
That's the best way to think of it. The hieroglyph for Ka is two upraised arms. It's your vital essence, very similar to Qi in Chinese medicine or prana in yoga.
It's the spark, the thing that makes you alive.
It's the animation force, yeah. But here's the part that really changes things, and this jumped out at you too, I know.
It needs to be fed.
It needs to be fed. Unlike a normal battery that just holds a charge, the Egyptian Ka has a metabolism. And while they literally offered food in tombs for the living, the Ka doesn't run on calories. It runs on truth.
Truth and right action. That's the key.
It is. Your physical body might need bread and beer, but your Ka, your vital essence, it needs spiritual sustenance. It digests alignment with reality.
And this is where we get to the idea of an energy leak, because if the Ka feeds on truth, then acting falsely must be like starving it.
It's worse than starvation. It's a rupture. Imagine your Ka is like a pressurized container. Every single time you act in a way that contradicts what you actually feel or think, you poke a hole in it.
Okay, give me a real-world example.
All right. You're at a dinner party, you're exhausted, you want to go home, but someone asks you to help plan the next event. You smile and say, of course, I'd love to.
No.
But inside, you're just screaming, no.
Which happens all the time.
To the Egyptians, that's a catastrophic energy event. You've created a friction between your internal reality, the no, and your external action, the yes. That friction burns through your Ka. You are hemorrhaging life force.
That explains that specific kind of exhaustion, doesn't it? Where you haven't done any physical work, you've just been in meetings all day, but you feel completely shattered.
You didn't run a marathon, but you leaked all your Ka.
Yeah.
You starved the battery. And this brings us to the part that tracks all of this. Because the Egyptians didn't think this stuff just vanished.
It gets recorded.
It gets recorded.
And this is the Ib, the heart. What we need to be really clear here, when they say heart, they don't mean the organ pumping blood.
Right. They knew what the physical heart did. The Ib was something different. It was the center of intelligence, of memory, of emotion. Funnily enough, they thought the brain was basically useless.
Just stuffing. Right. They threw it out during mummification.
Exactly. The Ib was where the person actually lived.
The analogy that just clicked for me here is a flight data recorder, a black box.
That is the perfect analogy. The Ib is an impartial witness. It records every single data point.
Yeah.
The lie you told your spouse, the envy you felt when your friend got that promotion.
But also the good stuff. The moment you stood up for someone.
Everything. It records the secret you've been keeping for 10 years.
Yeah.
It all goes in the black box.
That's terrifying. I mean, you think your internal monologue is private. You think, I can fool my boss, I can even fool myself. But the Egyptian view is that the black box is writing it all down, no matter what.
You cannot fool your ebb. And this is where the physics comes back. In their worldview, secrets and lies and regrets, they aren't just thoughts. They have mass. They're heavy.
Which gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, a heavy heart.
They meant it literally. When your ib collects too many recordings of inauthenticity, it actually develops density. It weighs down your spirit. It creates drag.
So if you're feeling sluggish, unmotivated, like everything is a huge effort, it might be because you're literally carrying a backpack full of rocks that you put there yourself, one tiny lie at a time.
Precisely. You're fighting the gravity of your own history.
Okay, so we have the ka, the battery that drains when we're inauthentic, and the abid, the hard drive that gets heavy with all that data. This has to lead us to the big organizing principle, the standard it's all measured against.
Mata, Mahat. You always see her as a goddess with an ostrich feather on her head. But Maat is more than a deity. She's the fundamental operating system of the universe.
Truth, balance, justice, cosmic order, all of it.
And you can't have order without its opposite.
Which is Isfet. Chaos.
Disorder, injustice, deception. For them, it was pretty binary. At any given moment, you are either creating Maat or you are sliding into Isfet.
And the description of Isfet feels so modern. It isn't just evil. It's messy. It's drama. It's things constantly going wrong in your life.
It's entropy. And living in Isfet is exhausting. Think about it. If you're living a lie, pretending you're happy in a relationship that's broken, you're living in Isfet.
Because you have to maintain the lie.
Yes. Your brain is running two tracks at once. What's real and the story you're telling everyone. You have to remember what you said to whom. The computational cost is enormous. It drains the ka.
Whereas living in Maat, living in truth, is just efficient.
It's aerodynamic. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. There's no drag.
This totally reframes what power is. We think of power as force, as control. But in this Egyptian view, it seems like true power is just lightness.
And that takes us directly to the most famous image in all of Egyptian mythology, the final exam, the weighing of the heart.
I love this scene. It's in the Book of the Dead. You've died, you're in the Hall of Truth, and there's this giant set of scales.
And on one side, the gods place your ib, your heart, your black box, with the data from your entire life.
And on the other side,
the feather of Maat, the feather of truth.
And the rule is just brutal. Your heart has to be lighter than or equal to that single feather.
If it's heavier, if it's weighed down by all your guilt and lies and secrets, the scales tip. And waiting right there is Amit.
The soul eater, part crocodile, part lion, part hippo, the stuff of nightmares.
And if you fail the test, Amit eats your heart. Now we can see this as a scary afterlife story, or we can look at it psychologically. Amit represents total extinction, utter burnout, the collapse of the self.
That's the light bulb moment for me. The whole point of life isn't to be good in some moralistic way. The point is to be light.
Going to play light, yes.
You want to get to the end of your life, or even just the end of your day, without a heavy heart. Because if you're heavy, you get eaten.
The lesson is that you can't cheat the scales. You might fool everyone around you, but your internal system knows the weight. And if that weight gets too high, the system just collapses.
So, okay, how do we lighten the load? The research breaks down these 7 principles of Maat, and I think we should go through a few of them, because it's easy to say live in truth, but it's hard.
Extremely hard. Think of this as a diagnostic checklist for finding your energy leaks.
Okay, first one is the obvious one, truth. Are you lying to yourself? Not just to other people.
And it's often subtle, isn't it? It's telling yourself you're happy in your career because you're afraid to quit, even though you feel dead inside. That's a lie, and it has weight.
Then there's balance and reciprocity. Let's pause on reciprocity. I think a lot of people who see themselves as good or spiritual get this wrong. They think it means just giving all the time.
That is a violation of Maat. A one-sided relationship creates imbalance. You're depleting your own kai, and you're actually harming the other person by letting them just take. It creates a debt in the cosmic system.
So being a martyr isn't holy, it's just heavy.
It's heavy. Maat demands flow, not just outflow.
Which leads right into boundaries. They had this negative confession where they'd declare, I have not transgressed boundaries. This feels like the hardest one for people today.
Absolutely, because we confuse boundaries with being unkind. But in this system, a boundary is just defining where you end and another person begins. Letting someone disrupt your peace is allowing isvet or chaos into your system.
So saying no isn't mean, it's just good maintenance.
It's keeping the crocodile away. It preserves order.
The others are responsibility, integrity, basically doing what you say you'll do. And finally, alignment.
Which is the sum of all the others. Is your life actually a reflection of who you are? If not, you're fighting friction every single second.
Okay, so we've done the audit. We've probably all found a few things weighing on our hearts. What do? The material outlines a 7-day protocol.
It's a very practical 10-minute daily routine to stop the leaks and start regaining talk.
Step 1 is the breath.
For just 2 minutes. You breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 6.
And there's a biological reason for that specific count, isn't there? This isn't just ancient magic.
No, not at all. Making your exhale longer than your inhale stimulates your vagus nerve. It literally switches your body from a fight or flight state to a rest and digest state.
The ventral vagal state.
Right. It signals safety to your nervous system. You can't do honest work on yourself if your body thinks it's being chased by a lion. You have to calm down first.
Okay, so we're calm. Step 2 is the audit.
3 minutes. You write down the answers to 3 questions. First, where did I lie or hide the truth today?
That takes some real guts. The little white lies count.
Especially those.
Yeah.
Second, what is one right thing I can do? And third, what boundary do I need to set?
So you're finding the leak and planning the patch.
And then, step 3, you apply it, the action. For 3 minutes, do one small thing right away. Send the apology text, pay the bill you've been avoiding. Say no to that request.
This is the anti-bypassing part. You're not just meditating on the problem.
You are actively fixing it. You're keeping the heart light in real time.
And the final step is the affirmation.
2 minutes. You just remind yourself. Truth brings energy back. It's about reprogramming your brain to see honesty not as a risk, but as fuel.
It sounds so simple, but I can imagine that if you actually did this for 7 days straight, stopped all those little micro leaks, the difference in your energy would be huge.
The result isn't magic, it's relief. It's the physical feeling of a light heart. It's better sleep, clearer decisions, less drama. You're not carrying that dead weight anymore.
It really brings us full circle. True spirituality isn't about escaping reality at all.
No, it's about engaging with reality so honestly that there's no friction left. We don't need more energy. We just need to stop wasting the energy we already have.
And keep ourselves off the crocodile's lunch menu.
That is always the goal.
Well, this has been amazing. I'm definitely going to try the protocol. My black box could use a little data clearing.
I think we could all use a little less weight on the scales.
That wraps up our deep dive into the Egyptian soul map. But don't get too comfortable, because next time we are crossing the Mediterranean, we're going from Egypt to Greece.
We're going to see how the heart passes the baton over to the mind. We'll get into psyche and logos, and that famous command, know thyself.
I cannot wait for that. Until then, thank you for listening. And, as the Egyptians would say,
may your heart be as light as a feather.
See you next time.